Hi, welcome back to Just an Everyday Fan. So as we all know, Series 2, Game 2 for the Indiana Fever versus the Las Vegas Aces did not go Indiana's way. I have to admit that I came to the game late because I was finishing up the overtime between the Lynx and the Mercury. And so a whole quarter had already passed before I actually came over to the Fever game. Guys, I don't know what to say. Indiana was just flat. They just didn't show up. And if you want to be really honest, A'ja Wilson wasn't even playing hard. She was playing. But I think that they let Smith come in, take over. She was hitting, she was hot, and NaLyssa Smith was the forerunner in that game. Even though A'ja made the most points, A'ja could have played harder. Had A'ja played full steam, we would have been looking at well over 100-point deficit. So it would have been 100 and something to 68. They blew them out of the water 90 to 68 anyway. There wasn't much about this game. I mean, really and truly, Kelsey Mitchell wasn't hitting. I will say that if I had to pick a player who showed up, again, Lexi Hall. She played with heart, she played with grit. And I know that the players are tired. You can see it. They're just out of steam. All the teams, they're trying to, it looks like they're trying to put together strategies, but at the same time, it looks like they're trying to save energy. So they're not playing as hard as they normally would. And you also saw that with the Minnesota Lynx game. So AT didn't play. She was literally facilitating that whole game and passing and assists. She was doing that for 3/4 of that game before she actually started playing. And when she started playing, it wasn't full steam. So I think everyone's trying to conserve energy, but do you really want to conserve energy? I mean, especially if you're the Fever. This is my first year in the playoffs, so I'm trying to look at the strategy of the coaches, and of course, here we go again. I didn't see anything. I saw a lot from Becky Hammon, right? She was actually answering. She was putting together strategies. I didn't see much from Stephanie White. She didn't do much. Can someone help me understand? Because I'm lost here. For the life of me, I am lost. I don't know why everyone in the basketball world, the commentators, everyone that you see talking, has great things to say about Stephanie White. I don't think Stephanie White got her team to the playoffs. I think her team members got the team to the playoffs. As last year with Christy Seitz, it was Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Mitchell that got the team to the playoffs. So I don't know what to say about the Fever game. Now the Fever are going to be back in Gainbridge on Friday night. We have 2 more games, so we have Series 2, Game 3 of both. So both semifinalists are tied 1-1. And it should be interesting. I think that teams are playing strategically. I think they're losing. I think they're conserving. And then I think they're going to come on full blown when they need to come on full blown. Certainly, Nate Tibbetts is going to do his deal. Cheryl Reeves is going to do her deal. And we know Becky Hammon is going to do her play. Now, Becky Hammon is hard on her players, I will not lie, but they look at the run after they lost with the Indiana Fever in the regular season. They went on a heater. Like, I don't know what she said to them. I don't know what she did to them, but they didn't lose a game. They were just on fire, which resulted in this playoff run. Now, I don't know who is going to be in the finals. I'm suspecting it's going to be the Las Vegas Aces. I just don't know if the Mercury or the Lynx are going to be in it, because it just depends on who's going to have the most steam. Because when A'ja Wilson is not hitting, the team does not win. When she's trying, she's giving it her all, and she's not hitting, the Lynx will come out, because they have Collier, McBride, Williams, Smith, Shepard, Heidemann. Although Heidemann was held to 0 points. I think we're seeing, and maybe y'all can help me out with this, I think we're just seeing some strategic plays where they're playing some of the players and not some of the players, putting them in only for a few minutes to keep them warm, to keep them alive. I don't know. But this looks different than the regular season. So if y'all could comment, I always love reading your comments. So if you could comment down below, tell me your thoughts on these post games, these playoff games, that would be great. Now, I just have to be honest with you. I haven't been that excited about the Indiana run. So I didn't even make a video on the first game, because I thought it looked like politics. I thought it looked like they were giving Indiana the first win, because the WNBA wanted to make money and they wanted to stretch all these games out. If y'all remember, I told you there would be a sacrificial lamb, and I told you my pick was going to be the Valkyries, and guess who it was? The Valkyries were the sacrificial lamb. They lost. Everyone else moved forward. And I think that that's what's going on here. I think money and betting is driving this whole thing. And it saddens me, because you have all these wonderful, fantastic, talented, great players that can't play the ball they want to play. They can't, because it looks like behind the scenes the WNBA is telling the front offices, this is how we're going to do things. You're going to take a loss here. You're going to, extend this out. Because let's just face it, if AT, how she's playing this season, if she were to just be cut loose and go on a heater, no one could stop her right now. My thoughts. Maybe A'ja Wilson. Fee Collier is even having a difficult time because of her power, her strength, and how she works inside the paint. Now, so I haven't even looked at YouTube for basketball for probably a week and a half. I'm sitting on the couch watching the Lynx game, and all of a sudden I get a message from my friend, and he sends me a picture. Sandy Brondello was fired, and I went, this can't be true. And I'm like, what? And so I'm looking it up. Yes, New York released Sandy Brondello. She is the most winning coach in that franchise history. She got the championship last year. She took them to the playoffs this year. And they just let her go. The only way they would let her go, and they did it quickly, the only way that they would let her go is if because there was kind of some rumors before the playoffs started. If you remember, Sabrina Ionescu and Stewie, Sandy Brondello were in a post game, and someone asked Sabrina, what if Sandy Brondello was not back for next year? So there were already rumors that were spreading that Sandy Brondello was not going to be the coach. So when you have something like that, you're dealing with a corporate entity. You're dealing with corporate America. That's what these front offices are. They're no different than a company. Their bottom line is, we want to make money, and we want to make lots of it. It was already in the works. I'm here to tell you it was already in the works. They were waiting until she lost to let her go. Now, Sandy Brondello, as far as I'm concerned, she's one of my, if not my favorite coach, because from my point of view and from what I see, and I'm not an expert, but it appears that she allows her players to play to their strengths, and she doesn't try to fit them in this box, a box like Stephanie White has built. We're going to bring the ball down and pass, and no, she lets them play to their strength. So you have Stewie, you have Sabrina Ionescu, you have Natasha Cloud, you have all of these individuals, and I got to tell you that New York is stacked. They're stacked with talent, but they've had some injuries. And again, this comes back to the referees. The referees aren't calling certain fouls. Alyssa Smith literally stuck her foot out, planted it, and intentionally tripped Lexi Hall last night. And nothing was called. Nothing. So, I mean, you could see it on the replay. She was planted, stuck her foot out, tripped Lexi coming around. So, I don't know. It just seems like there's a lot of game fixing, allowance for certain teams. Like last night, the Fever did not go to the free throw line at all. The Aces were there the whole time. But especially in the fourth quarter, the Fever just kept fouling them. They were called on fouls, and they just kept going up to the free throw line. So you can't win a game like that. You can't win a game with as many turnovers as we had last night. If Stephanie White wants to even think about moving forward to the finals, and that's going to be a really big ask, and my opinion, I don't think she has it in her, because you're dealing with coaches. I mean, let's look at the coaching so you have Becky Hammon. She's hard. She reacts on the fly. She builds her offense. She builds her defense. She changes on the fly. She gets all over her players when they do stupid things. You see her on the floor. She comes out on the floor to admonish her players. Like, what were you thinking? So these players don't get away with anything. Everything is hard, but she wins games. You have Cheryl Reeve, who's much the same way, plays a little bit differently. You have Nate Tibbetts, who is kind of a feel-good coach, but he knows what he has, right? Everything's about AT, as it should be, because she's right now, I think if she were, if all these teams, it would be a toss-up, I think. If all these teams were rested, which brings me back to another thing. Why do they not have rest periods for these women, for the WNBA? The men get to rest. They get to practice. They get to bring their best games. The women don't. It's like they have, 4 months to get their whole regular season plus a postseason and be done before college starts and before NBA. So I'm just not, things need to change. I mean, if the WNBA wants to be a professional organization, everything needs to change, and it needs to start from the top. Let me know about your comments down below. Now, Sandy Brondello, in my opinion, especially with these 2 expansion teams coming on, if Sandy Brondello wants to continue to coach, Sandy Brondello will continue to coach. So someone will pick her up if someone has not already contracted her and we just don't know about it. So let's look at kind of the teams and what we have right now. So we have Carl Semescu, which is the dream. He's not going anywhere, I don't think. Tyler Marsh, Sky, questionable. That would be a question mark. So the Sky could possibly be looking for another coach. However, I don't think Sandy Brondello would go to the Chicago Sky, nor would she go to the Connecticut Sun. I don't think that would be one of her choices. We have Rashid, Connecticut Sun. That might be a change depending on Chris Kalanis. Now, this is interesting. So Chris Kalanis, I know the GM loves Chris Kalanis. He brought Chris Kalanis here. But you have a star like Paige Becker. You want the best coach for Paige Becker because you have her for a 4-year contract. And by that 4th year, you want a championship. You want to build a team. So if you look at the past draft picks for the past 3 years, it was Aaliyah Boston in 2023. It was Caitlin Clark in 2024 and Paige Beckers. So if I'm Dallas and if I'm a smart Indiana Fever, I'm looking at Sandy Brondello. I'm looking at Sandy Brondello to bring her in. But I don't think they're going to let Stephanie White go. Because Stephanie White does what the front office wants her to do. And Sandy Brondello, maybe not so much. So you have Natalie McCausey out at the Valkyries. She won Coach of the Year. They're not going to let her go. She beat everyone's expectations of what that team was going to be able to do. So unless something comes available and she just wants to go, I think she's golden there. no pun intended. Lynn Roberts, LA Sparks, she might be questionable. New York, I think New York already has Sandy Brondello's replacement. I already think they do. You don't let someone go without having your plan B game plan in action. I just don't think it's been released yet. I think they say they're starting to look. No, you don't let someone go like that and then say you're starting to look. You already know. You've had conversations between the front office, between the ownership, and whoever they're thinking about. I guarantee you. Nate Tibbetts, he's going to be secure for the Mercury. He's the highest paid coach in the WNBA. I mean, these top women coaches make half of what he does. Noel Quinn, Seattle Storm. It could go either way. That's questionable. Sydney Johnson, the Mystics. That could go either way. Becky Hammon. I don't think Becky's going to leave Las Vegas. But I don't know. It would be Becky's choice, I believe. I don't know about these coaches' contracts and how many years they have them for. If it's a year-by-year deal, I don't know about that. But I was sad to see that Sandy Brondello was fired from the New York Liberty. Now, let's talk about what this does to the teams. As we know, 2026 is coming up. We have the collective bargaining agreement. On top of that, we have total chaos because every team, other than maybe 3 teams in the WNBA right now, are going to look like bombs exploded. Before I found out Sandy Brondello was fired, I would have said the Liberty were safe. They were going to try to go out and they were going to try to sign all their players, their top players, and secure them for another contract year. I don't know if that's the case now because you have Stewie, you have Sabrina, you have Jonquel Jones. They're all going to be free agents, unrestricted free agents. Also, you have Natasha Cloud, Miesemann. Miesemann's not going to remain. There's no way. They're not going to keep her with what she did, should I say didn't do, because she came in at a $249,000 max contract, and I just don't see them keeping Miesemann. I could be wrong, but the Fever, let's look at the Fever. So the Fever have Mitchell, Howard, Cunningham, Dantas, Colson, McDonald, all in unrestricted free agency next year. Lexi Hall is a restricted free agent. So the only ones that they really have locked down are Boston Clark and Timpson, because those were the last 3 to come in. We have Portland, Oregon coming on board next year. We have Toronto, Canada coming on board next year. So I could see Sandy Brondello getting one of these teams, and it might be Toronto because that's really close to New York, closer than anything else. And it might be that Stewie and Sabrina follow Sandy Brondello. So this is going to make it very interesting. So what do y'all think? Let me know in the comments below. If Sandy goes somewhere else, do you think Stewie and Sabrina and Jonquel Jones are going to follow her? Let me know what you think. As always, thank you for supporting this channel, and I will see you in the next one, and get the popcorn out for Friday night. It should be interesting.